Welcome back to another episode of Here Now Human. I'm your host, Manuela. And this week, we encounter some resistance getting back on here. Clearly, with everything that's happening in the world right now, with just the levels of violence and hatred that are happening currently in this country, in the United States, but also globally, in Iran, in Venezuela, all over the world. So, the last few days, I myself have encountered a level of freeze that I hadn't felt in a long time. This situation in the United States, more than ever, is very, very close to my heart, especially because I myself immigrated here. And, but I just want to name that the last 7 days have been the last 12 months, I would say, in all the travels that I do and crossing the borders, I've certainly felt my body go more into freeze and into fear, and just really witnessing the stories that are around us and our fellow humans and neighbors. And but particularly the last 7 days and the last 2 weeks, but more the seven days, I have felt my body freezing and just really not knowing how to respond. Of course, consuming a lot of media stories, and our collective is angry. It's angry, and behind the anger, there's a lot of sadness, and then there's a lot more grief. And I think that it's really important to come together right now collectively and really kind of have a pulse check on our own bodies or on our own hearts, on how we are all facing these moments alone and together. So I come on here not from a place of more division, but how do we come together to have these conversations? Um, a lot of my work and my whole life has been around the body and the heart and the emotional body and the physical body. And so I come here with an inquiry about how can we best take care of ourselves so we can best show up in community and in the world and to our neighbors and each other. The silver lining of moments like this is really coming together and being there for one another. The last week, I have, called friends of mine that I have in Minnesota, and I've checked on. I live in a predominantly Hispanic, Latino community, immigrant community, and it's very. Um, I'm very aware of my emotional body, of my heart, of how I'm responding to what's happening. And as I said, it's quite beautiful to see how we can show up for each other. Um, so I'm back in understanding our own body and what's happening in moments like this when the world is so chaotic and the media just wants to throw everything at you. It's really important to kind of take a pause and understand where you are. And it's okay to feel the grief and feel the anger and feel all of the emotions that are coming up in this moment. But it's important to orient to where you are in this moment. To look around. There's a practice of looking around and looking at 5 things in the room. So paying close attention to. Right now, I'm seeing a bag with a tiger, a red book, a, a lamp, and a piece of wood. So it's almost like you're telling your body and you're just claiming that it's here, it's present, it's in this moment, it's safe, you know? And it's a practice where you really kind of bring presence to the room and the space that you're in. Um, a teacher of mine who I'll bring on the podcast at some point, her name's Melissa Michaels, just recently this week even shared with me the practice of putting one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And as you're orienting to the space around you, is really orienting to your own body, to inhaling. And as you're putting and placing one hand in your heart and one hand in your belly, you're orienting back into your breath, maybe gently closing your eyes. Taking a deep inhale through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, releasing any tension or pressure that you feel in your chest and your upper back. and all around you. Again, we're going to take a few deep inhaling in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, inhale in through your nose, out through your mouth. And as you're doing this and orienting back into your breath, you're literally letting your nervous system bring back your awareness into your body, into the spaces around you, into the awareness that your feet are on the earth, on the ground. Just noticing how your energy and your nervous system start regulating with your hand, in your chest, and in your belly. And just continue inhaling in through your nose, taking longer inhales and longer exhales. Again, letting your nervous system know that you are safe. And just noticing how everything around you starts slowing down. As you're doing this, make sure your legs are uncrossed. And you're going to begin just rocking your body side to side. It's almost like as if you were being held in your mother's arms or in go of your arms, perhaps placing your hands on your thighs, continuing to inhale in through your nose and gently out through your mouth, relaxing your jaw. And again, noticing the space between you and where you are. Just really feeling in with what it is that you're holding in your heart. You can rock forward and back, becoming aware of your shoulders, noticing any tension in your shoulders, in the space between your ears and your shoulders. You can even do some sideways movement, just circling with your hips and your upper body. And just getting in touch with your emotional body. What is it that I'm feeling right now? Am I feeling fear masked as grief? Am I feeling grief masked as anger? Am I feeling angry and I'm frozen? Or am I just feeling rage and I need to move this energy? This is important in naming it for the nervous system. You want to really get in touch with what it is that you're feeling. Often, when we're feeling a lot of grief, it could be masked as anger. So it's really important to just take a pulse in a moment to really feel what it is that your body is feeling. And just notice, I'm noticing myself from the moment that we began this time together, just noticing the difference of how we started to how we are now. Taking just that deep breath. Today, in my sessions today, I really felt a lot of energy of urgency, of going, of like, really, let's go, moving very quickly. So it's really important for us to just take a moment for ourselves and notice how we're feeling. As much chaos and collective noise as is around us, it's also really important to take care of ourselves because we're in this for the long run. I don't think this is just going to be a week of what's happening, but it's going to be a long time before we feel back to normalcy. So really important to just take care of ourselves, take care of our nervous system, really get in touch with what we're feeling, And perhaps just sitting with the intention or a question of what is one doable action I can take from that place of taking care of myself versus the place of urgency. How can I show up to those I love with more presence? How can I show up to my community? And it can be small, it doesn't have to be very big. Who is one person I can call and check in on today? I've been practicing this week of doing something kind for a stranger. And um, it's very, for me, it's something that I love to do, just, an act of kindness for somebody I don't know. And nothing in return, just to show up for somebody that's perhaps, right now in this moment, I feel like we're all kind of keeping our strong front. And I think it's important also to know that we can be vulnerable and there can be grief and there can be sadness. And so just really taking care of ourselves so we can take care of each other and, showing up, continuing to show up. And there's so much that we can do together. I know, in the United States, we can call our senators, which I've been doing, and just stay informed, not look away. And if we are taking care of our nervous system, it's easier for us to stay present with what's happening and not freeze like I did this week, right? Because my freezing was coming from a place of not checking in with myself, not seeing what was actually regulating. I wasn't regulated in my body, therefore everything in and outside of myself was really affecting me. As empathic as I am, and we all are, I know that all of us listening to this can really feel a lot outside of ourselves. So really just take care of you, take care of this so that we can take care of each other collectively. We are mycelium, we are connected. And I think the more we take care of ourselves, the more we can take care of each other's. So with that, I leave you in this short episode together, but just know that I'm thinking of you, I'm caring for you, and I'm currently with my incredible team who you will meet soon. We're building together a community for all of us to come together. And I think it's such an important time now more than ever to talk about these things in community, to show up for one another, to name what we're feeling, to know that we're not alone. And this is an invitation. We'll be launching that in February. We're working a lot right now to make this happen. And I'm so excited to bring you this space where we can really cultivate these practices together, show up for one another, show up for what we're building together and for each other. And I will also be offering a free breath work here shortly in the next week or two. And so I hope you can join for that to move all of this energy. So grateful for all of you listening and for your energy and for your support. This space is as much for, for all of us. And I'm deeply, deeply in my heart of hearts, so grateful for each of you. And I know that we will together create something very, very beautiful. So with that, I leave you with a lot of love. Take care of one another, less hate, more love, and really just let's show up for one another with respect and kindness and keep really just showing up for what's happening in the world right now. We need each of us from a place of a regulated state and keep showing up. So with that, see you next time.